Jupiter at Night is presented live before an internet audience.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Jupiter at Night. My name is Chris.
I'm Alan.
And I'm Jeremy.
All right, so if you haven't already figured it out, this is our casual episode of Jupiter at Night. We're going to throw these in every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be debating one of the most important topics of our time.
Of your time.
Of everyone's time.
Yeah.
Because
Of
it's
the
right
time.
now.
Right now.
Yeah. We're going to be discussing the best trilogy ever.
The movie trilogy.
And we've created a couple of rules. Yeah, sorry, exactly. We've created a couple of rules because nothing is truly perfect without some restrictions. So those rules are, it has to be an original creation, not from a book or a comic.
or a remake.
Or a remake. Let's see. We also decided to throw out anime.
That's right.
Because we're not really big anime people, I don't think, right?
Right.
Are you anime guy?
I like some of it,
Yeah.
but I've never really gotten into
All right,
any
so we're
of it.
okay to throw it out.
We're basically throwing
But,
it out
yeah.
because we know that there are some folks in the chat room that might bring them up, and we'll be like, well, they said that name.
Oh, and
Yeah.
also, we're going to be taking input from the chat room live. East Coast Girl in the chat room suggests also not from a video game. And I'm okay to go with that because I can't think of a trilogy
Okay, that
from a
doesn't
video
hurt
game.
mine at all.
All right. So,
Oh, nobody was going to bring up Mortal Kombat as the best trilogy of all time?
What's the third movie?
I don't know.
It hasn't
want-
been made yet. It's the rebirth.
now, there's a lot of rules up front, but one last important rule
That was
is...
only two so far.
Okay, I know, but it sounds like a lot.
counting.
We're going to allow... Whoa, that
Oh,
freaked me
third
out.
rule is no phones.
No phones.
We're going... I'll go grab that. Tell me about allowing to throw one movie out.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so if your best suggestion of all time is from a larger series like Star Trek or James Bond, you get one chance and one only to throw out the rest of the series and say these three movies are an awesome trilogy. Okay?
So that means...
So Chris is coming back, and we're going to try to fill time until he gets his butt back in
He's
his chair.
walking around and
Sorry,
sitting
because
down.
he is the driving
He's
force.
right there.
You would think my family would know not to call me at 9 p.m. on weeknights, but...
Were they calling to ask what the address was for the live stream?
Probably. So what that means is, like, for example, I'm just going to throw this out there early because I think it's the first one everyone thinks of. Indiana Jones is technically a four-part movie series now, but this rule would allow for you to discard that fourth movie.
Never happened.
Meaning, yeah, it never happened, but you can only do it once. And if you want to make another one by doing that, you have to forgive the other one.
Isn't Aliens technically a four-parter
Yeah.
now as well?
So you could drop the fourth one.
Right.
All right, so let's get into it now. I'll be monitoring the chat room as we go, and I'm kind of tempted just to throw mine out there because I believe it is with the benchmark that I can defend until the end, and I know you know what it is.
I do.
But for those out there that don't know, and Alan,
I don't know.
my pick for the number one trilogy of all
Of
time,
all time.
is Back to the Future.
All time,
Nice.
because it's Back to the Future, so it's every
Yep.
time.
I
always.
believe if you consider the fact that it's an original movie creation and how coherent it is, how perfectly integrated, even all three, and some will argue number 3 is weak, but I have a defense for that. I believe this is truly one of the best movies of our lifetimes, and I believe this is one of the best trilogies ever.
That is a large claim, my sir. And actually, that was going to be my argument. Was Back to the Future 3 was kind of wah wah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's okay.
But it wasn't enough to ruin it for me.
It was
That's
still
a
fun.
great choice.
It
is.
It had plenty of fun.
I
in the first
love
movie, but
the way the first movie and the second movie are so intertwined, but the third movie, they start laying down hints, like Doc Brown's really into trains and stuff like that in the second movie. So by the time you get to the third movie, it's a lot of stuff's already been established.
And the
if you're
time
paying
circuit
attention,
sometimes manually reset to 1885.
yeah.
Things
Yeah, so-
happen.
They foreshadowed it just fine, but then they spend their entire time doing this sappy little buddy romance film back in 1885.
Also, I think Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd were the perfect actors for this role.
Oh,
I do
most
not think,
definitely.
I cannot
Yes.
picture a better Doc Brown, and I cannot picture a better Marty. In fact, for the people watching the video version, there was originally going to be a different Marty, and I don't remember what his name was, but I'm glad they didn't go with
I
him.
don't remember it offhand either. But in the new Blu-ray version that's coming out, they're going to have some deleted scenes of his
already
acting in that
pre-ordered.
mall parking lot.
All right, now, I haven't seen anybody in the chat room be able to challenge my trilogy with a better one, but
Oh, come on.
what do you guys got? Alan, what do you want? You want to
I want to hear Alan's.
Okay, mine is kind of skirts in with the rules just barely, but it's
Okay.
the Jersey Trilogy from Kevin Smith. So it's Clerks,
Okay.
Mallrats,
All right.
and Chasing Amy was good.
So you're
but I'm gonna dump Chasing Amy to push in Dogma.
okay. Now I think we could potentially argue that this is not a true trilogy here.
No. Not in the
we could
real
argue
sense,
but I'm
there's
willing to-
so many things intertwined that it
Yeah.
goes back and forth, and they do create their own universe within
Right.
it.
I think
Kevin
this-
Smith just all the jokes. The more you learn about the movies and behind the scenes of the movies, the more jokes you get.
So
like
you're
that.
also going to use
Yeah.
this, I'm assuming, as your rule to eject the rest of the trilogy, the rest of the series, because there's also
Right.
Clerks 2 and Jay and Silent Bob.
Which are definitely good movies, but I'm just keeping it to the original. Like I said, throwing out Chasing Amy, still good, but compared to Dogma, if we're going to the 3, then that's got to be the 3.
I could definitely say that I would agree that we should allow this in the sense that I could see somebody claiming that Star Trek 2, 3, and 4 are a trilogy, even though
Yeah.
they're technically not, but they're so interconnected and related.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
it's the same world, the same.
But I don't know
everyone's
that I'd say that
related.
Dogma was so well tied into the others. You had
No,
some-
that one was not tied in.
there was plenty of
As well.
carryover characters, and you enjoyed Dogma more by having watched the others.
Right.
That much is true.
Now, Guru
And,
Dude,
and that's why you could also drop out Dogma and go Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, because that's just kind of the finisher. So,
what do you guys think about Guru Dude's call out of the Bourne? Now, isn't the Bourne series?
It's
is that,
awesome,
Is
It
it
was
not based
awesome,
on?
but
a
it
book,
was
though?
based off a book.
Yeah,
so
I think that disqualifies
nicked.
it.
Wah.
I really liked it though.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but on the same vein of the Bourne trilogy, how about Die Hard?
Yep.
Now,
Die Hard.
I don't know that I would rank it as one of the best because Die Hard 2 was a big ball of stink. I
I
think.
actually liked Die Hard too.
No?
I
No.
did. I don't know. I just dug the whole airport thing, him crawling around.
You know, maybe it was fine on its own, but when you compare it to Die Hard 1, which is ridiculous for many different ways, but it was still a great movie.
So you're enjoying the privilege of vetoing the fourth movie in order to make this fit in?
No, I'm just saying, I'm bringing it up because the chat room did.
Okay, all
This
right.
is not my call.
Okay. So what is your call?
My call is Star Wars. I got to go with the classic, the original trilogy.
Yeah.
So what
I'm
you would call
disappointed.
episodes
It-
4, 5, and
I'm
6.
disappointed.
It almost feels like a cop out,
I know.
But it is.
because it just kind of stated that okay, Star Wars is great, everyone likes it, it's wonderful. Yes.
See, that's the thing is I feel like Star Wars is kind of the go-to trilogy, but maybe it's earned that stat. You know, I mean, it is the go-to trilogy, but it's like,
Okay,
you know.
let me tell you a little story that just happened the other day.
Oh, right.
You know, I bought that kit so that I could transfer stuff off, and I was going to use
That
it
USB kit.
to hack bash myself up an external CD drive,
Right.
using an internal CD drive. And I was trying to figure out if it was going to work over USB, if the data rate was high enough so that I could play a DVD. I didn't know. So I plugged in a DVD. I turned around to my shelf. I went, what do I want at Star Wars?
Yeah, of course. Sure. I mean, the quality is good, but now I don't know if you can totally rule out the prequels that really tarnish the entire franchise in a really big way. And those prequels do technically, according to the movie, canon.
They
So in
came
order to make this
first.
claim, I would have to use my ejection quota.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
'Cause
a
I think
few
it
times.
you got to reject. You got to reject reversely in this case.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know. I think so because it is canon affecting.
I think it's worth it. Star Wars
right.
is an incredible story
We've got a
that carries over multiple arcs over this huge epic just space opera that
The original 3 were great.
yeah.
1 and 2 were pretty good.
You didn't like the way
3
that
was
3 ended?
3 was good,
Ewok
but
haters.
Well,
I just don't put it in my. I am kind of an Ewok hater.
So am I.
I
but,
just don't
you know,
put it in my.
They're
top,
so cute.
think-
Oh my god.
I think 3 is just not in my favorite movies category.
It was a little slow at points, and it felt like it might have actually been shoehorned in as an ending sometimes. But despite that, the fact that just the world that they created, the stories that they told, and the people that you, I mean, everybody knows Han Solo, Chewbacca, Princess Leia, R2D2, C3PO. Everybody in the entire world knows these characters.
Absolutely.
But see, that's the thing. That's why I feel
I
that
think
your
that's true with
vote's a
Back to the
cop
Future,
out.
though.
You think that everybody in the world knows
I think now.
Marty McFly and Doc
I think
Brown?
if nothing else, like the
They
DeLorean
don't
is-
always get the references.
No, that's true.
I
They
will
do-
say that.
Yeah, they do. You are going to have better success with a Star Wars reference. But I still think in terms of integration and quality and storyline and originality, I think Back to the Future, especially in originality, I feel like Back to the Future has Star Wars beat.
Yeah, and you know, I will give you that one because Star Wars, many people have said, is basically a ripoff of older stories. You know,
Yeah.
the Chosen One story and the Save the Princess story, all kind of bashed into one.
So then you just
overarching-
nicked your own vote. You
I'm not
got to pick something
I'm not
else.
saying that it's
Well,
worse.
I mean, every movie's going to have its flaws,
Yeah.
you know. So
Every movie is going to be
yeah.
copying
Well,
something
like another
else.
honorable mention that I think should be brought up is the Godfather trilogy.
okay,
Epic.
I was wondering if we were going to
stories.
bring that up.
So
I figured
good.
someone in the chat room would.
Yeah.
Not yet,
so
though.
good. The stories of the Godfather are awesome, but this is not a series that you want to sit down and watch. You want to experience once in your life,
Yeah.
understand the stories, and walk away having an enriched experience.
Now-
but you're not going to go to it and say, I want to watch the Godfathers.
I gotta give some shout outs from the chat room. So first up, DLP 211 and Guru Dude are both going on about Toy Story. I could get
yeah.
behind that.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
I
That's
haven't
good.
seen Toy Story 3 yet.
I've only seen half of Toy Story 2, but it was good.
Yeah. See, that's
Just
the
don't know
thing
how it
is,
ends.
I just don't think they have that
Don't ruin
The
iconic.
toys win.
I don't think
ruined it.
I think you could argue that Clerks is a cultural movie, and Back to the Future is a cultural attributor and changer, and so is Star Wars. They all have changed something to culture. I don't know, Toy Story maybe a little bit, but
As far as kids' movies go, because it brought in it made the CG thing just crazy.
You know,
Yeah.
this is something that we also learned on our Retro Tech show that we did last week was Toy Story is 15 years old now. Did you guys know that?
I
The
didn't.
first story.
whoa,
The first movie.
whoa.
15 years ago.
Okay, first call out we've had in a little bit here for the Terminator franchise. 1 and 2, you got me. 3 and 4, you'd have to
There was
kick
a
one of
4?
them. Yeah,
I didn't see the one with the
Remember
girl.
watching- Oh,
Term-
Salvation.
With the
Salvation.
lady Terminator. I didn't see that one.
That's the TV series.
I did not see 3.
Yeah, Terminator 3 was.
No, I thought there was one with the evil blonde lady.
Oh, okay, that was Terminator 3.
Okay, yeah, I didn't see
Yeah.
3.
So if we're going to go with that one, I think the general consensus is eject 3.
Well,
go with 1,
no,
2, and 4.
I don't know.
Can
I
you
don't
not
know.
do that?
I was not a happy camper with 4.
Well, but it was better than 3.
Wait, which one was 4?
I don't know
This
if it
last
was
one
better
that came
than
out?
3. I know.
Four
I know
was-
people genuinely think it was better than 3, but hear me out on 3. 3 featured genuine full movie feature of Schwarzenegger in full combat with some of the best. He's like smashed into buildings. He lands in the street and smashes the cement. The robot chick was hot. She inflates her boobs on demand. Win. And she's got a plasma gun. And then it has a twist at the end that you don't actually expect it to come. And whereas
And you know what? I just remembered the ending of 4.
exactly, you know what I'm talking about. If
Yeah.
you remember the ending is crap.
Is 4 the one with Christian Bale, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that dude, what was his name? He was also in Clash of the Titans.
Yeah.
Everything else. Avatar.
The guy that they totally spoiled the fact that he was a Terminator in the trailer.
Yeah.
Like you might not have actually figured it out in the movie if you
Right.
hadn't
And
seen
then
the trailer.
if they wouldn't have spoiled it, it would have been that much more effective.
It would have been a very important scene.
Right.
Yeah. So I at 1 and 2 for Terminator. If we were doing a sequel set, then I would give it to Terminator. I would say it's a very strong contender. But when you got to look at it in a trilogy perspective, I just don't think it holds up. I don't, you guys.
Bam.
Now, all
That would
right.
not get my vote.
We got to mention for Jurassic Park. Again, I think Jurassic Park starts to fall
As
down.
the best? Are you guys
Ooh.
freaking
Ooh.
nuts? The first one was bad.
Oh.
The second and third one were
And,
crap.
and based off of a book.
Snaps. Oh.
Oh, that's right.
Nicked.
So I don't even have to rant.
All right, should
Not
we
at
talk
all.
about
But I-
But it was
it.
worth it.
should we
Someone had to.
should we talk about a little Star Trek 2 and 3?
Yeah,
and-
because
and
we
4?
mentioned this in the kind of the preamble.
Yeah,
but
and we just got to mention 4 here in the chat room from
2,
DLP
3, and
211.
4.
Of course, you guys are going to go Star.
I know, I'm sorry, dude, but it is a good
on.
series. So
This is actually a contender to kick out Star Wars for me, actually. If
You
you,
think
look at
so?
it that
I'm
from
really
that-
surprised you didn't go that route.
Well,
he's a Star Wars guy.
I am. I mean, if you look at the worlds as a whole, Star Wars is more dear to me than Star Trek.
Okay,
I love
so
Star Trek still.
if
but,
you had your stove still and there was Star Wars online, you'd say,
well,
and
Star
you had to
Wars-
choose one.
Oh, well, I don't think I can. I think that when the Star Wars game comes out later
You're
this year,
full of
early next year, I'm
cop-outs
going to be doing
tonight.
both.
Oh, ouch, ouch. So are you gonna go with the move? Are you gonna be ballsy and make the Star Trek?
No,
3?
actually, because 4, I liked a lot about 4, but I feel like it was kind of a filmmaking cop-out to go back in time and not use any Star Trek-y sets. You know, plus the chick in 4 really annoyed the shit out of me. And yeah, so it was a
Leave it to
pretty
the
decent
ladies.
story. I mean, people call it "Save the Whales" as some sort of like kind of a downplay of it, but it was a good story.
It was.
A little contrived, but all Star Trek is, really, if you get right down to it. Now, somebody in the chat room has been mentioning over and over Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
which we have not mentioned.
We have not mentioned. Now, what we did in the preamble, I did give Dr. Kozix a mention that I would shout out Ice Age for him next. He wants to throw Ice Age in.
As the best?
See,
really?
Haven't seen it.
I saw the first one. It was fun.
It was fun.
Kidsy. The animation's not really great. The voice acting is kind of B-list celebrities.
Well, I mean, if you think
What about
I Love Raymond is B-list.
If you're going to have Ice Age stack up
Well, when
against
it was
Toy
made.
Story, come on.
Yeah, Toy Stories.
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay, I
Hands
totally
down.
agree. All right, Indiana Jones, let's talk about it because this, obviously should be considered a massive contender for any
And-
trilogy.
And
Would
you're show-
rely on the X.
And this
Why
is
are
the
you
one
showing that one?
This is
Because
the one that you would X.
This is the one we'd. So you have to. I think you have to go into a conversation about Indiana Jones and say we're just forgetting about number 4.
There's
It's like the South Park episode.
That being said,
The reason the third
I enjoyed it.
Third one was called The Last Crusade is because it damn well should have been.
it should have
Yeah.
been. Yeah, I enjoyed the movie, but as a movie by itself, as part of what was an epic trilogy, it's a major disappointment.
Downer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, at the end they had this whole setup that maybe by pouring the Grail and by drinking it in the thing, maybe now he was immortal.
Right.
And maybe his father was immortal as well. They could have spun it off into comic books and just had him live forever as an archaeological treasure hunter. They could have made an Indiana Jones 2025
Well, isn't there
future
rumors that
sci-fi
they're still
thing or
working
something
on
like
it?
that. But you come out with Crystal Skull and he looks like an old freaking man. I mean, you can't make him immortal and then call him an old man.
Right.
You can't have your
He can
cake
still grow up.
and
He's got
let
to
it mold.
hit that perfect age, and then he'll stay.
But if we're
He hasn't
taking,
hit it yet. That's all.
but if we're taking number 4 out of the equation, can anybody come up with a good reason why the Indiana Jones series shouldn't bump one of the ones we've picked?
Temple of Doom.
What?
It was not a very good movie. Temple of Doom was one of those that was it was fun, it was enjoyable to watch, but not very good.
I'm kind of on board with as far as it was not like number 2 was in Back to the Future. It was not like the second movie was in Star Wars. And it wasn't Clerks 2.
It was weak. And you can't have a trilogy with a weak middle.
It was a great movie though, I think, to go to the theater and watch.
It reminded me, it's very slow to start off with. The chick was annoying as hell. Again, why is this such a commonality among
All
these
right.
trilogies?
Maybe it's
you
something
just,
from
yeah.
Hey, we should probably start wrapping up because we can't go all night. Do you guys want
can't?
to?
Yeah, we can.
Do you guys want to, just off the top of your head, shout out any movie that if you could make it into a trilogy right now, it's only been a sequel, you could snap your fingers and it's a trilogy and it was
What if
epic.
it's been a single?
See, I have to cheat, and because in the chat room they said, "Too bad Ace Ventura wasn't a trilogy." And
yeah, okay.
that's
If I could take any single movie and turn it into a
and
trilogy,
the other one is Office
Serenity.
Space. Sorry.
Serenity,
Ooh.
absolutely, that was my pick. The chat room is saying Pulp Fiction. We've gotten tons of call outs for Office Space. The Bond with Daniel
Oh
Craig.
yeah, God damn it, DLP.
Yeah, the Bond with Daniel Craig.
American Pie trilogy fell
That's a
off.
tragedy of
Wow.
modern movie making right there.
They canceled the third Daniel Craig.
They
Bond.
canceled the latest Bond
If you haven't
movie.
seen that already.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so that
hadn't.
and Jeremy and I are of the opinion that number 2 will be a great movie if number 3 was a great movie.
But without number 3, number 2
2
is a pile
stinker.
of crap.
Yeah. So I'm just saying that is probably what I would use my trilogy vote for, just because first of all it meets the freaking rule, and then second of all because it really deserves it. I don't know. Naked Gun was a trilogy. All right.
Oh, a Kick-Ass trilogy might.
My wife is
be
calling
cool.
out.
I
My
didn't
wife
see
is
the
calling
first
out.
But
one.
Kick-Ass is based on a comic book, so it kind of falls outside of our rules.
Ghostbusters is a
There were
trilogy.
rumors for a long time that they
Yeah.
were going to make a 3, but it was going to be
Supposedly
like a
the
whole new
video
cast.
game was supposed to be the next movie but I didn't play it because
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, you guys. So I think that just about wraps up tonight's episode of Jupiter at Night. Coming up later in the week, Thursday, we're going to go as maturely as possible down a path that may lead to the destruction of this very show. We're going to talk about the history of internet porn. There is a movie coming out this weekend.
This is
that-
some research I can really dig into.
I knew you guys needed a subject matter.
individual
Right.
research needs to happen. We have to leave the studio. For
No,
this
we're
one.
gonna be.
all in the same office.
Well, okay. I have no idea how it's gonna
We
go.
got to research it together.
What?
The whole reason for this is because this weekend a movie comes out that's based on
Yeah.
basically the innovation, the
start
big
of the internet porn.
explosion of the internet porn industry.
So we thought it'd be a good
Nice.
tie-in for people that are going to go see that this weekend. So that'll be coming up Thursday evening. And, tomorrow we're still putting that together. So tune in over at jupiterbroadcasting.com/live at 9 p.m. Pacific. And please, if you enjoy Jupiter Night, do us a favor and tell your friends about it because we want to spread the word. The show's growing fast, but we need your help to get it even further.
We almost forgot to mention one more thing. If
Okay.
we get enough suggestions, we might do another show just like this on the worst
Oh, absolutely.
trilogies of all time.
Oh, man, thank you for bringing that up. We want to hear, if anybody's still tuned in, we want to hear in the show comments, give us your worst trilogies. If we get some meaty ones, we might do, next Tuesday, we might do the same thing.
I can talk a lot about this stuff.
Okay, everyone,
Got it.
we'll see you tomorrow night. And until then, hope you enjoyed the show.
Bye.